Hi, hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to see Chapter 3, Scoping. This chapter fully deals with the scope of a variable. So before going deep into this topic, let's have a glance what scope mean. Generally speaking, scope mean the extent or range of view. Again I repeat, scope means the extent or range of view. To make the meaning still simpler, it means the lifetime of an object. Yes, it is. It means the lifetime of an object. This can be compared to just think you are buying an eatable in a pack or medicine. It will have an expiry date. It means how many days you can keep that pack and safe to eat. Once the expiry date is over, we just throw it. So its lifetime gets over and we cannot use it no longer. So the same concept, the lifetime, applies to programming concept too. This lifetime is called as scope. A program is made up of variables, functions, parameters, etc. So all these will have a lifetime, or to tell in other words, access rights. Variable written in one part of a program may not be accessed in other part of the same program. This means if a variable is written inside a function, that variable cannot be accessed outside of a function. So to understand this better, let's have an example. Let's take an example of a student who gets admission in one school and admitted to class 12 B section. Once the class begins, the student comes to school, and will that student be able to sit in 12 A, C or D sections? No, he is not allowed. Even though he is a student of that school studying 12th, he is only allowed to sit in B section. So, here the student scope is limited within B section. Now let's imagine a meeting is organized to 12th standard students. Now this student is allowed to mingle with A, C and D section students. Here, that student has a wider scope and is considered as 12th student. Here, sections will not be considered. The same concept applies to variables, functions and parameters inside a single program. Even though we are using a variable, function and parameter in the same program, that access to that variable have some limitation. So we can say that scope is the lifetime of a variable inside a program. You may think why this concept called scope is applied in a program. Anyhow, in a program, a variable is to be declared and used in a program. Then why do we have a limit to access a variable, function or parameter inside a program? In normal and simple programs, the scope does not make any difference. Consider we are creating a software for a bank. Then such programs, access to a variable matters. There may be many levels of access rights in banking system from employees to customers. The customer's deposit amount in bank. The deposited amount value is stored in a variable. Next time he deposits more amount, the value gets added to his account. Once the money is debited, the value gets reduced. But the customer has no rights to change the value of the amount directly. So the access to that variable must be limited and secured. In such program, scope of a variable plays an important role, and that's why scope concept has come into programs. Now let's see what variable scope is. Have you ever wondered what the variable is? For what purpose these variables are used for? Variables are just a name given to the memory location or the addresses. As a user of a computer, we do not know at what address the data are stored. The compiler randomly selects the free memory location that is suitable for the data to store. Whichever memory address is chosen, the variable name is linked or binded with that address. Instead of directly using the address values, we use variables. Moreover, the address values may be combination of text and numbers with 16-bit addressing values. So it is also difficult to remember what value it has. So not to make it too complicated, we can easily remember variable name instead of addresses. That's what it's given in book. They are addresses, references or pointers to an object in memory. Normally, if we use variables, we use equal to symbol. For example, ABC equal to 10. Here the value 10 is called instance or object. This object 10 is binded or mapped to the variable ABC. Now let's see the book statement. The process of binding a variable name with an object is called mapping. Equal to sign is used in programming languages to map the variables and objects. So to map a variable and the value that is called as object, we use equal to sign so that the value and the variables get mapped or binded together. These binding of all these objects to variables are monitored using namespace. So now a new concept called namespace has come. So namespace is nothing but it just binds what all variables and values we are mapping in a program. Those details are kept inside a namespace. So let's see what namespace is. Namespaces are containers for mapping names of variables to objects. Just imagine namespace as a box or container. Whatever an object is binded with variables, its details are put inside the box. The namespace keeps on tracking these details. In our book, namespaces are compared to a dictionary. What does a dictionary hold? A dictionary holds a word and its relevant meaning. So, in the same manner, in programming languages, namespace holds variables that are mapped with its objects. Here, objects are nothing but the values we assign to variables as said earlier. Variable is equal to object. Now let's see how variable scope works in a programming language with an example. Let's consider the following book example. The first statement is A is equal to 5 and the second statement given is B is equal to A. So in this example, A and B are the variables. A is assigned a value 5, that is mapped as 5. In next statement, this A value is binded to B value. This statement, whatever value A is holding before the statement, note that before the statement, whatever value A had, that value is assigned to B. So let's see the diagrammatic representation of A is equal to 5 and B is equal to A. So this is how the memory is mapped inside. Now we add a third statement to our example. That is, we are changing the value A to 3. So A is equal to 3. In this statement, the scope of the variable come into act. Let's see how. Here we have assigned 3 to variable A. Here is where the variable scope, that is the lifetime of a variable B, comes into existence. Now we may think that we have already assigned B is equal to A. So whatever value stored in A will be reflected back to B also. But this thought is wrong. Now in statement 3, B scope is nowhere exist. B still points to the value 5. The second statement scope does not apply to the third statement. So the mapping of A and B values look like this. Now A is equal to 3. As we have already changed the value 5 to 3. So now the A holds the value 3. But the B value still holds the value 5 because of the statement 2. That second statement does not apply to the third statement as the scope of B variable does not exist in third statement. So the scope of a variable is the part of the code where it is visible. Next, let's see a simple example program with procedure. First statement is disp function name or procedure. This is the function name or the procedure. Second statement, inside that function we have defined a value 7 to a variable A. If we try to print the value of A outside the disp function, the program occurs an error. So just see this example. We have function inside the box disp a is equal to 7. This is the function, and we have given a third statement, print a outside the disp function. But the scope of variable a does not exist outside the disp function. So the print a statement will occur an error. Let's see what error it occurs. It gives name a is not defined. This is the error that will display when we try to print a outside the disp function. Because the scope of variable a is just inside the function, the compiler will not recognize a outside the disp function. Let's compare this with the example that we saw already about a student who is in 12th B. So a student who is in 12th B is not known to few staffs who handles other 12th classes. So it's natural that few staff may not even know whether such a student is studying in 12th. So the same concept apply to programs also. The duration for which a variable is alive is called its lifetime. So the compiler may not recognize a variable that exists in one part of a program, does not recognize it in the other part of the same program, unless it is declared as a global variable. This global concept we will see later in our next upcoming videos. The duration for which a variable is alive is called its lifetime. This statement means that the time till where the variable is recognized by the compiler is called the lifetime of a variable. This lifetime of a variable is called as scope. So, we have already said with an example that a variable inside a disp function is not recognized outside that function. So, the scope of the variable a is limited within the display or definition, within the definition of the disp function. So that's what is given. The lifetime of a variable is also called as scope. So this is all about variable scope. So we have reached end of this video. In the next video, we shall see about the LEGB rule and the types of variable scope. For now, thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed this channel, kindly subscribe and see you in the next video. Thank you.